Henri Matisse. This sure brightens up this gray, rainy day.
Yeah. Lots and lots of colors. And look.
I love it. A cool design with just colors.
Oops.
That was funny. You look like a wild animal.
And Dada, wow! You make a cool painting.
Well, it was cool. This is not a gray day at all.
Whoa, that is cool, Maddie.
Well, it's not exactly what I was going for, but it kind of looks like something I saw in one of my books.
I'll get you a cloth to wipe your face. Oops. Here you go, Maddie.
Hey, this is who I was looking for on my bookshelf. Henri Matisse, the master of color. Thanks, Dada.
And who have we here?
Monsieur Matisse, what a surprise!
Maddie,
Huh?
you still have paint on your face?
I forgot. I was so excited.
C'est très bon. Being excited and forgetting what others think is the only way to create art.
Dada, crazy! Hey, Maddie, look at this!
A lot of people laughed at my painting, Woman with a Hat, at its first public showing. They didn't like it at all. They called me Fauve, which is French for wild beast.
Fauve! Oh, that was like me. I turned Maddie and her painting into wild colors.
I love her hat. It's just a bunch of colors that go up, up, and up.
Well, gigantic, outrageous hats were all the fashion back then. And so, that's what I painted. A gigantic, outrageous hat.
And look, Maddie, her face is pink and green, and she has a yellow dab on the tip of her nose, just like you did.
Yeah, it matches the big purple dot under her chin and the green beside her face.
Dada, yeah. With all those colors around her, it makes her colorful face look normal.
Yeah, this whole painting is so colorful. It's energetic and...
It's impulsive, oui. Colors are what matter to me. How they generate feelings and moods. How they interact with one another.
Yes!
Dada, yeah.
And different combinations of colors and patterns and shapes can generate very different feelings.
Ooh, this rug has a calming feeling.
This painting kind of makes me feel relaxed. It makes my eyes glide all around it, like Dada on that rug.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw this room as one big decorative pattern.
Huh? Hey, Maddie, the painting got unflat.
I can see it's a room, but it's flat. Monsieur Matisse, how did you make that room look like a flat, smooth surface?
I painted everything with equal balance. One thing doesn't stand out more than another. I gave each thing its own space and shape on the paper. The tablecloth had that shape, with the pears and the eggplants, vase and statue on top of it. I saw the screen, mirror, window and door as simple rectangle shapes. And the view through the window and mirror are just shapes of color I saw. And of course, the walls and floor look like the same thing, just a big flat pattern surface.
A pattern of a room.
Well, I actually called it Still Life with Eggplants.
Huh? But it's not very still because the eggplants look like they're sliding off the table.
Yeah, and in the mirror, they're back on the table, but in a different place.
It's fun to play around with the space, colors, and shapes of things.
Yeah, and make a whole new picture with them.
I can identify positive and negative with organic shapes. Today, we're going to look at the work of the French artist Henri Matisse. He loved bright and bold colors. Matisse used color to express feelings and emotions in his art, rather than portraying how something actually looked. Often, Color became the subject in his art, rather than the people or the objects he painted. Here, the rich raspberry red fabric on the walls and tablecloth contrasts with the energetic swirling blue patterns. Art critics said he used color in such a new and interesting way that he painted like he was a wild beast. They called this art movement Fauvism, which is French for wild beast. Here, he painted a portrait of his wife with a green line down the middle of her face and bold, solid colors in the background. Matisse loved shapes and flowers. Flowers are an example of an organic shape, meaning no two flower shapes are exactly the same in nature. The lines that connect in Matisse's art to create shapes are all unique. They are all organic shapes. Matisse combined line, shape, and color in his art. He created a technique of using one solid color to fill in the organic shapes he drew, or to leave them white and color in the background with one solid color, as we see here. Matisse explored positive and negative shape in his art. These are two pictures that are the same, yet they're colored in the opposite way. Do you see faces or a vase? If you are seeing a vase, then you are seeing the white area as the positive space. The black areas become the negative space. If you are seeing faces, then you are seeing the black areas as the positive space and the white areas as the negative space. Today, we're going to look at organic shapes. Organic shapes are those shapes that are commonly found in nature, and they usually have irregular or curved lines. Things like leaves or clouds. You recognize them as a cloud or a leaf, but you never see two clouds that are exactly the same. Geometric shapes are shapes that are not found in nature. They are things like squares and triangles. They have mathematical perfection to them, and angles. But today we're going to look at organic shapes. I'm going to get out a piece of paper and a marker. You can get a piece of paper or a crayon or whatever you have to draw with at home right now. I'm going to draw an organic shape. And remember, an organic shape is a series of curved lines that are irregular. And it has to close, just like that. If I don't close the shape, it's just a line. So I have to make sure that I always close the shape. So these look like leaves. But I can make other kinds of shape too. Like maybe an organic shape that looks like a cloud. I'm going to practice another cloud. So you should fill up your piece of paper with all different kinds of organic shapes. And they don't have to look like anything, because they're organic shapes that can be from your imagination. They're a series of curved lines that connect to make a shape. Matisse really loved organic shapes. Now that I've practiced organic shapes, I'm going to get another piece of paper and I'm going to carefully fold it in half. I want to make sure that my edges line up as closely as possible because I want to have it be fairly even. So I'm going to fold my piece of paper in half. I'm going to crease it and fold it. And when I open it, I have two halves that are roughly the same size. Now, on one side, I'm going to draw an organic shape. This could be any organic shape. As long as the lines close, it makes a shape. If I left the lines open, it's just a line, not a shape. Then on the other side, I'm going to draw another organic shape that's sort of the same, but it's a little bit different, and that's okay. It's a little bit larger, and the proportions are different, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to get a color, and I'm going to choose like an indigo color, which is a sort of bluey purple. And I'm going to start on the left-hand side, and I'm going to color in the background around the shape. I'm not going to color in the shape, I'm just going to color in the background like Matisse, and I'm going to try to make it a solid sort of a color. I don't want to use many different crayons for this, or many different markers. The idea is to use one color. If I used many and made it rainbow, that might look nice, but it wouldn't be what I'm trying to do here, which is to create positive and negative. I want to take my time and carefully color in the entire background and cover up as much of that white space as I can. And if you're drawing on, like say, your mom's dining room table, you might not be able to go all the way to the edge. I have a drawing board, so I can go straight to the edge, because it's okay if I go off the paper a little bit. But I'm being careful and doing my best work. When I'm finished coloring in this side, I'm going to take that same exact color of indigo, and I'm going to color in the shape this time on the other side. Instead of the background, I'm coloring in the shape, so I'm doing the opposite. So one side is positive, and one side is negative. The shape is negative when it's white, but it's positive when it's a color. And if you have time, you should go ahead and choose a second color and fill it in, the white space, with another color. If you're doing this at home, you should take a photograph when you're done and attach it to this assignment. And if you're doing it in class, we'll look at it together at the end. Thanks for drawing with me.